5 classes actually, but the thing is, the session started from 22nd. But 27 there was no class because no one has attended on that day, and we have started the session from 23rd. From 23rd, you are the 2 guys who are attending the session. We had class on 23 and 24, and 25 and 26 are Saturday Sunday. There is no class. 27 we had a class. 28 because of my medical emergency I did not take the class, and 29, 30 we did take the class. So even though we took 5 sessions, it's technically 7 days in our session. Then the remaining are 3 days. Don't worry, I can cover all the 3 topics which I figured out that are balanced. We can cover those topics in these 3 days. So let's start today's topic. So we have covered in yesterday's session, we have covered how to draw a room, or after creating or building, how can you tag that building with colors and the displaying of the room properties as per our requirement. Now we have to move to the next level. That is, okay, we have done our project. After we have completed our project, the next thing we are going to do is we are going to plan or give the details for that project in the form of dimensions. So this is a wall, normal wall. And if I see suddenly in the sheet, I don't know what this wall is, from where this wall is going, and also its dimensions. So that is why we provide dimensions in any drawing. So if anyone is going to see this particular wall, they have to identify what this wall is and from where it's going, and also its properties, its dimensions, and all the stuff related to this. Not only wall, if you have any properties or any materials or any functional elements like doors and all. Let me first go to wall. Something like this. Okay. Walls, what I do is I'll just change the dimension. Now we have 2 different types of, let's just imagine this as a house. This, let's change it to double door. I'll just go to insert, load family. So we have our doors over here. This door is okay for me. I've just loaded the door, architecture door. So this door, if you want to convert the existing door to that particular door, select that door, it will be open, then you can just click it. So whatever the existing door is there will be changed to that particular door. If you think your opening is fine, okay, leave it like that. Same, I will take the door again. I don't want this door this time. I'll just move for some larger door here. Just flip the direction and move it. Now we have 2 doors and 1 main door. I'll just quickly insert the windows also. So here, I'll just change the type of window. So let's imagine this is a kitchen. So I'm just putting a different type of window here, side by side. This, and some window over here, like this. Now this place from here also some different kinds of window. So we will see why we are putting this type of windows over here. So we have multiple types of windows and also doors in our project. Let's go to 3D and check. So let's make it realistic. All right. So we have multiple windows and multiple doors in our project. If you are going to see this, suddenly you want to know what this door type is. We have an option for that. So for example, we give dimensions, right? We know if you're going to measure from this end to this end, we have a dimension. That is okay. But after seeing an element, I want to know what that particular element is. May it door, may it be window, may it be furniture. After seeing it, I have to know what it is. For that, in Revit, we have an excellent option that is called tagging. So where do you find tag? We do find tag in annotation. There are two types of tags that are available. One is tag by category, one is tag by tag all. If you place this, everything will be placed. But let's go in incremental step. Let's go to tag by category. Here, you can select any tag and you can click on that particular element. You will have a tag. And what is tag, by the way? Nothing but the description of that element. All right. Here, this element is being described by 26. This 26 can be changed in any direction, the direction you want. But what is 26? Let's see what 26 is. 26 is a number given to this description. But if you want to change that, you can just click on that, go to edit family here. As soon as I go to edit family, you can see there is something called 1T. 1T, if you double click on that 1T, or you can just go to edit label over here, then you will have something called type mark. Type mark is nothing but wherever you see this particular type of window, that will be marked as 1T. And this is the only element available here. For example, if you want to give the height of this window or its say family name usually gives its dimension, right? Whenever we've installed the door or window, we have automatically its width and breadth. So you can also give your family name. So type mark and family name. If you don't want type mark, you can just remove here. Here, I'm just naming this only with family name. These are the elements where you can give its tagging. I'm just going with family name right now, just now. Apply it. OK. So as you can see, when I increase or say take this family name, the existing shape is not going to fit, right? Now, what you can do is just go to create, delete this shape. These are all tags. These tags are customizable. Right now, what I'm trying to do is I'm going to create a tag in which family name appears, and that for that I'm going to customize the shape. So let's say this is what the shape I want to create, like this. Then as soon as I've done with this, just load into project, override existing version. Now you can see the box is there, the box is there, and box is not going to fit because this particular family name, which is there over here, the whole family name is not fitting in this particular box. Again, I can just select that, go to edit family. So your family name is not okay with you, you can just go to edit label. So family, if I select family name, the dimensions are not visible. Then you can just select what is the next best option that is not going to cause hindrance to my drawing, because if I select family name, it's too big and it's going to cost, it's going to cause hindrance for my whole design. Because if you are having that big a mark in your design, other elements can be disturbed, right? Like the end of the day, our aim is to present a aesthetically pleasing drawing. So if I present this family name, it's going to be confusing. So what I'll do is I'll just go for next best thing, that is assembly name, cost, construction type, height. If I want height, I can give the height, or still height is okay. Width, just give width, height, family name, remove. Okay, then just if you want to have a space after first element, you can just select the break, which means first element, then after the first element, you have second element. If you're pressing the break, hit apply. Hit OK. So this is what it's going to be displayed. If you're OK with this, then you can just drop down this one also. If you're OK with this, just go to load into project. Now you can see it's going to change. So 1400 is its width, 1800 is its height. Likewise, you can tag anything. If you don't like this, or if you want to add one more, you can just go to edit family. Again, you can just select this edit label. So you don't want height and width, the next best thing. Or if you just want to have a comment, give the time mark, or you can just have to mention only comment. That also you can just give description. Remove this, both the things. Here only description will be available now. So description, where do you add description? Just go to edit type here. Sorry. Just click on the family and there will be something called description in the family. You go to edit type. Here description, right? Here you can just name it name its dimension, width, or whatever. It's like if you want to name it as an outdoor window, outdoor, like that. Apply. So you can see it's displayed over here. So whatever we describe for that particular family, sorry, it's not here. This will going to edit the type, but if you want to add the information, you can just select this, go to its edit type, edit properties, then you have its description over here, like that. You can just name it ODRWDW. That, or here also you can just give. If you think this is full length, you can just mention like this 1400 into like this, hit apply. So here you can, if you want to extend this, the same, go to edit family, same, you can just extend like this. Like this. Load into project, you have your description. Now, what we have seen is we have been to annotation. We have to go to tag by category. So wherever that element is there, right? That element will automatically now be tagged. You can see all these are 1400 by 1800. This can be tagged instantaneously. But if I go to this particular element, again, it will not be tagged because we don't have any description over there for that element. Why? If I go to this element, if I go to edit type, the description, there is nothing. That is why there is no property. Here, if I type 750 into 1200, hit apply. OK. So wherever there is 750, I'll just go to architecture, not architecture, annotate, tag by category. So wherever there is 750, it will be displayed. So the best thing is you have to like decide what the properties you have to display. So tagging everything is not OK because we know these two are same. We can just tag one thing and whenever someone sees this thing, they will know 750 by 1200. They will imagine this is also of same size like that. Say here there are 3 or 4 equivalent of same items. So you don't have to tag everything. You can just tag one element and whenever they see this is of this dimension, they will know the others also. The same way you can tag doors also. Tag by category. As soon as I go to door, there is a type mark. If you want to change the type mark, you have to go to edit family first. You can see this is label. The label is given for mark. So the mark is just remember this 101. If you go to the description of this project, you will know what 101 is. So 101 we will be given for this particular type of door. If you don't like that type of giving a mark because mostly this is not evolved in India, we will just go by its description only. So you can just go with the description here also. like this and remove this mark. Now we have only description. So this description, if you think it's going to fit in this shape, just leave it like that. Just load it in the project. So we have the description. Now, if I click on this particular window or door, go to edit type and scroll down, there will be something called description. The description, if you can name it to 1810 to 100, it will be displayed. Wherever this door is there, that will be displayed. This you can change as we'll see. Now, once for one type of door it's done, it's easily you can just go to annotate, just tag by category, every door. You can just tag it like that. Type mark will not be any more visible. All you have to do to mark this is select this particular family, go to its edit type, give its description, like what its functionality, or if you want to give its dimension or whatever it is. 915 into apply. Okay. So wherever this 915 is there, that will be changed. So you can move it like this, or like move it somewhere that is not going to cause hindrance to our drawing. Like that you can tag. So once you're done with this, for a small part of your project, you have tagged everything and you want to tag everything again, what you can do is just delete all. Done already, right? So what you can do now is just go for tag all. Here you have options. What are the elements you want to tag? You want to tag doors, windows. Apply. Everything will be tagged in our project at once. So mostly this will not be needed because if you tag everything, it's confusing, right? So that's not required actually, but it's also possible. Instead, it's a best advice that you go by tag by category and tag individual elements in the project wherever that is required for you. So this is, let's say this is your final project, like you have finalized the project and you have to give the dimensions and this tagging. You have to place these tags in a way that it is not going to cause any hindrance to a project, and also the same for annotations. Now, let's see how annotations are done. Annotations are similar to AutoCAD. Like if you're familiar with annotations in AutoCAD, this is also similar. You have to go to align or linear. Align, when do we use align? If your dimensions are having these type of drawings, you can just go for align. If you are having only linear type of drawings, but the drawings doesn't matter, but you can see the dimension style over here. So here in this top right corner, even though that is angled, but the measurement is going to happen from end to end, right? But if I go to align, you can see how the measurement is happening in this top right, end to end. It's not going to take that point as a reference point, but it is going to measure along that line. So that is what difference between aligned and linear. Now let us check align. So if you're trying to draw a line, you have multiple options to measure here. As we have drawn a wall here, you have many different types to draw a wall with the reference. You can take wall center line, or if you take wall center line, what happens is you can see the center dot line, right? That is going to start, or that is going to act as your reference. But if I take core center line, what happens is your core. So imagine what is wall and core. If I go to edit type, we have the wall center line will be acting as this. So you have only two cores, right? If you are having like say 6 cores, the core center line will be between the 6 cores. So what is structure and core? Structure is whatever the structure we are having. The core is nothing but there will be like finished material or something like that that lacks as an external to the wall. So you don't have to worry about this thing because they are there for mostly the European and American projects which have something called finished layer and middle layer for installations as well. So for them, these are going to matter. For us, it's just middle layer will be of either brick or concrete. Outer layer, either you can give plastering layer if you want. The both lights, the top and bottom layers, you can just give plastering layer. And also if you want, you can just give the paint also as a layer, but you cannot give thickness for the paint. So mostly we are not going to give paint as a layer, but you can have like add a layer over here, give without giving a boundary also. Like say, for example, I can create a structure. I can not only give like say 1 mm and this is 199 mm, 1 mm, I can give it for paint. Just create paint material and give it color. You are good to go. So that likewise, you can just give structure or core. Here, if I am taking core, it will also start from center, but it is going to start from center of the core material, which we don't have now. And there are others as well. You can draw finish face exterior. Finish face exterior is you can see the edge is moved to outside, which is the exterior wall. So that will be again used to measure. If you take the measurement for this wall, it's going to start from here. But if you take the measurement for this wall, it's going to start from here. If I take finish face interior, you can see it's going to start internal, which means the finished surface is internal. There is one more option again, core exterior, core interior. Core center line is if you're having 6 cores, say core interior will act between 3. The same for exterior and interior. So what we are going to consider is only wall center line, finished face exterior and finished face interior. So depending on this, our measurement will also take place. So if you are going to measure, depending on your wall type, you are also going to measure. Just go to annotate, align. Here you have to choose the type of the wall measurement you are given. So here I've taken wall center line, so no problem. Then you can just give particular wall length, like this is a point. So I'll just give once again, align. You can just give this particular point and this particular point. It's going to measure between the center lines. You can see it's going to measure from here. If you don't want that, you can just go to align wall faces. This is going to measure from here to here, right? So that is one more type of measurement. So not only that, if you want to measure the distance between this and this, this and this, this and this, and this and endpoint with a single click, that is also possible. You can take align wall faces. Instead of individual references, you can just go for entire wall. Then you can just go for options. In the options, you can just select if you want to measure the openings as well. Openings in the sense the windows and doors. Go for openings. And for them also, if you want to go for center or widths, if you're going to for center, it will be calculating from the center of these openings. It's not much of use for us. You can just go for widths. Hit OK. Now, as soon as I select any particular wall, as I drop, you can see it's going to measure at a single stretch. So this is what the dimension between these 2 points, these 2 points, these 2 points, and the whole. If you don't want that, you can just remove anytime. Just go to align, just go to entire walls, just uncheck these openings. Now you will get the entire walls dimensions with a single click like this. Whenever you want the wall openings or you want an individual instance, you can just go for individual references. Select these 2 points. This point to this point, you can just give like this. So if you want to give the whole wall, it is possible. If you want to give to individual instances, say I want to give this point to this point. take here this point too. Like this. So it's going to take all the dimensions we are going to give. So what if your dimension is not aligned? You can take linear anytime. So linear dimension is also similar to align, but it will take whatever that we are going to give. Here, if I try to draw in aligned, this is not going to take place. And for dimensions like this, I'm going to take the linear dimension. And if you're having an angular wall like this, that can be measured with your angular dimensions. So same for radial, diameter, arc, and all. So if you are having a floor, finished off. Now I want to measure the just make it shaded. I want to measure the elevation of this floor over here. For that, I can just go to annotate, go for spot elevation. Wherever you want that particular area, you can just give the dimension over here. Now there is no slope, that is why it is showing 0. Let's give it some slope. I'll just select tab, just go for so it's not selected. So I'll just select it flow, go for edit boundary or modify sub element or add spline. So this is center point. So this is the center point and go for modify sub element. This particular point, I'm going to make it as say 500. So this is the slope. Now let's say you are going to measure the spot elevation. You can see 500 at this particular point. So if you see this symbol, it indicates that slope of that particular area or that particular instance. So that is what spot elevation means. So these are the mostly used dimensions that we are going to use. And these are like say detail line region are there in our project. Say for example, this is area and you want to zoom in this particular area. Say there is a say imagine there is a column and there's a beam coming over this area and you want to show how this column is going to fit in that and beam and column joint is going to happen. For that, mostly the joint may not be look perfect in Revit. Uh, if it's a highly detailed area, in such cases, if there is no detailing level, that much of detailing level is possible, say there is an anchor bolt and you want to show how that anchor bolt is going to look. For that, you have to go to this region or detail line. You have to take one more tab here. This tab is going to continue or is going to have all that details that is not possible for us to give in the actual drawing. So you can just place detail group or detail line or detail region. These details are going to help in that areas where our normal modeling is not possible and we want to give some more information. So that is possible with this details. And there is one addition, that is revision code. As you might have known, revision code is given by managers. Say, for example, they find a correction in a particular area, they can mark this correction. Whenever you see this type of symbol in your project, it means that there is an error in the project. And that error can be given with a comment also. They can just mention a comment over here or just give the description somewhere else, so that whenever you find this type of marking, this revision cloud, if you see that in your project, it means that there has to be a correction or there is a possibility of change in the project. Now let's open a sample project. So as I've said, Revit has a sample project pre-installed in it. So whenever you have a doubt related to any option, you can always refer to that sample project, but that is not accurate always, but you will at least know how the options are being used. Like this is a sample project which like most of the people prefer. So this is what sheet is. We'll see the sheet session, how sheet is, and how we can export the direct drawing directly to the sheet and all. So this is what drawing is. If you can observe here, this is what room tag does. You can see the tags for the stair, the tags for rooms, the tags for doors. The finalized drawing is going to look somewhat like this. You can change it, you can customize this as per your like company standards or your visible preferences. You can change it, but you get the idea. The overall concept of tagging is to identify, like say 101B, and I'll just type 101B in my database. If I tag it to, or if I search 101B, I will let know all the information of this particular door, its size, its height, its manufacturer, and all the information I'm going to extract. That is why we are going to tag. And if you don't like have any information to give over here or not possible to tag, you can just give comment like this. So that is also possible. So like the description where it's not possible to tag, or it's better to give the description outright in this Revit itself. If someone feels that way, that is also possible. You can just give it outright in the drawing itself. These are the tags. So right now, I just wanted to show how you can extract the BOQ once your project is done. So say, imagine this is your project. You have created your project. I'll just delete all the BOQs that are there in our project. So if I want to take the number of doors are there in my project, the whole quantity of doors or windows in my project, what I can do is if in the project browser, if you scroll down, there is an option called schedule and quantities. Select that, right click, and just go to new schedule and quantity. And as soon as I click that new schedule and quantity, I have multiple options for which you can ask the schedule. Here in this case, let's say I want to extract the number of doors in this project. Hit OK. After selecting this, hit OK. In these doors, what are the data I want to pull? First thing I want to pull is the family. Right? Family and type denotes what the type of door is. The next thing is I want to have individual count. And also, if it's describing, I can go for its height also. And its width also. So these are the parameters I want to give for this particular door. And as soon as you give your whole data, you can just go for enter. And if you just press enter, you will have all the information related to the doors in your project with a single click. So imagine this painstaking work, you have to do this in AutoCAD. You have to switch individual layers, turn off individual layers, and calculate numerically or calculate manually. But here, once I've done with my project, I'll just go for schedule and quantity, and whatever the schedule I want to take, I can just take it with a single click. Not only this, you can just like Excel, you can just combine, insert, delete, or format these cells. Say, for example, I want to filter these cells. Just go for filter, and you want to filter as per its family name. OK, so if you want to just select only this particular type of classes, hit OK, and only that classes will be there like that. And if you want to just hit none, if you want to sort it, it's already sorted. But if you want to sort it as per its height or as per its width, it's possible. In the footer, if you want to just give the total count, it's also possible. And if you want to grant total and you want to have only one element per description, you can just add it, hit OK. So you have all the elements or all the doors as per the height. You can see here everything is 7 feet. So it's 7 feet. So if you have any other heights also, it is possible. So you can see this type of doors, you have 92. These type of doors, you have 3. These type of doors, you have 6, and totally you have 105 types of doors. Formatting is also possible. Formatting in the sense you want to change the description, how this data is going to look. And the last thing that is possible is appearance. Appearance is how this grid, you want to see this grid. Now just select this data. You can just, if you want to edit the data also, it is possible, but there are plugins which directly push this data to our Excel sheet. But if you want to directly export this data, you can just export. Reports, schedule. So this is what a schedule is, right? I can just, this is door schedule. I have opened door schedule, so I'm going to export the door schedule only. I'm going to save it in the desktop. So it's going to be saved in the desktop. Let's, you can see the data is being pulled to my Excel sheet. So without much of the effort, I am going to extract the BOQ in the Excel sheet. Right? This is true for all the elements. Now I have shown for doors the same workout for. So I'll just schedules, or if you want to come back to normal, you can just come back to your entry level. So here the beauty is, I'll just go to the schedules once. So we have how many total? 105, right? The beauty is it's real time. Means I'll go to entry level. So I'll just quickly delete 2 or 3 doors. Deleted 1 door, 2 door, 3 doors, right? Now let's go to door schedule. If you can see here, the count is 1 or 2, which means it's real time. So whatever the change I do in that tab in the drawing area, the schedule is automatically going to be updated, which means there are less errors. So this schedule will automatically is going to update whenever you change, you do see, have a modification in the project. You don't have to worry about the schedule until or unless you are taking to Excel. So if you are not going to take it to Excel, no matter how much change or whatever the change you are going to do, that change will automatically be going to be reflected in our projects. So you don't have to worry about the changes. After you are done with your project completely, then you can directly export whatever the data you want to export to the Excel sheet. Clear in this one? Any doubts?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is about doors. Sheets, I think take tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll see. So there are 2 options. There is time, so let's cover design options. So there is one more excellent option that is for only for architectural purpose only. Let's see what it is. Let's say this is our front end. So I'll go to south elevation. So I can see my door like this. So in the design stage itself, you want to give options for your clients to choose how a building is going to look with 2 or 3 different options. So there is this type of door here, and you can just select this door or only this particular wall such a way that you can modify this door with a single click, and the client can choose between the options. Whatever the finalized, that will be there in our project. In order to do that, you can just go to any elevation first. So there is something called design options that will be there in the manage. Here design options is there, right? Here I want to open a new set. That set is, I just right click or I just rename it as so window type or door type. Okay. So option 1 is, I'll just rename it first option. Okay. So then I'll just in the option sets, I can just, this is an option set, right? In this option set, I'm going to give first option and I can just go for one more option, that is second option. I'm going to have two options, first option and second option. Here, first option is primary, which means whenever I'm going to open the project, the primary will be open. So we'll set that by default. We are going to select this design option here. You can select the design option here also. It's going to be same. Now I will just select everything. This one. I can just go to this design option. It will be added to the first set. Okay, whatever that I am adding, that will be added to my first set. Okay, if I want to create the second set, now what I'm going to do is, so this is not going to be selected now, right? You can see it's not going to be selected. Whatever you do, it's not going to be selected. Just the first option is there, right? Just go to select option. This second option, now what you have to do is you have to make it a primary. Now whatever that is there in the first option, that will be gone. I'll just come back to level 1 again, architecture wall. You have to draw your wall. So again, after that, what you have to do, you have to give your door. Now this time I'll just give this door. Go for south elevation. Now select this particular door. Select this. This time I'm going to save this in the second option. Now we have two design options, right? If I select first option and make it primary, only first option will be available, which means the customer, for the customer, I'm going to save or I'm going to show only this option for the client, and he's not satisfied. I'll just change it to second option. What I'm going to do, I'm just make this as a primary. You can see it's been changed without much of the effort from me. It's been changed. So I have two design options here for this side. Two types of doors are possible. For those two types, I have given two design options. I can toggle between those two design options with this design option available over here downwards. So I can give n number of options for the client, which not normally it's not good, because as you give, they will ask. But for a professional service, like if you are two-minded and you want to explore or you want to figure it out how this is going to look, then you can use this option. Either you can convey to officials, higher officials, or your managers, or to the clients. It's possible. Changing the drawing or without saving this drawing twice, you can save this drawing. You can just open one more drawing. You can do that. That is also possible, but this is a cleaner, neater option. Select any of these options, and if you are okay with that, just select that one only. Select the next option which is not used. You can just delete that. So that will not come in your project or exist in your project. First option or second option. We are in the second option, so it's not possible to delete the first option. Second option. If you think it's okay, the second option is okay, you can just delete the first option. So you have only one design option here. Likewise, you can just give multiple design options or explore this design option to know what is happening in your project, or want to say give multiple ways or multiple possibilities for a single chair. This is also you can choose any options like floor plans for elevation type, front elevation, facades, or the room type, how you are dividing the space. This can be used for anything. Okay? The options are endless. You can use for whatever the application you think it's appropriate. Okay. I think end today's session.